Okay, I think it's recording.
Good afternoon. This is the Economic Development Commission meeting for Wednesday, August the 18th. It's 6:01 PM. And in attendance is myself, Michael McMahon.
Serena Fuller.
Amber Bach.
Okay, and we'll go on. There's no public comments because there's no members of the public here. We'll move on then to old business, changes in business developments in town.
That's okay, I'll just share.
These are just some of the things that are happening in town. Former Key Bank branch has closed. The building is for sale.
It was for lease, though.
It was for lease and
Yeah.
it said fully occupied. Now it says it's not occupied. And according to what's on the website, it says that there's going to be deed restrictions, that it can't be used as a bank or financial institution, and they're looking for $740,000 for it. The former medical office building still has the sign outside saying it's for lease. It's 6,000 some odd 100 square feet. But I couldn't find it on LoopNet the other day or on Realtor.com. It had been on there. So I'm not sure what's happening there. I know the Board of Selectmen have been working, trying to see if they could find a tenant for the building. The idea being that it'd be good to have a regular medical practice in town. The daycare center that they want to build behind CVS on College Highway is currently before the planning board. The planning board at their last meeting reviewed the plans and they made several suggestions that Rob Levesque and company is going to go back and tweak and come back to them at the next planning board meeting, which I believe is September 7th. They may get approval at that time. The planned 100 condos at 42 Depot Street had their public hearing. A number of residents from the Depot Square area attended. They made various comments and suggestions, and they wanted additional information that the applicant didn't have with them at the time of the meeting, so they're going to come back with additional information. The property known as Krabby Joe's was sold on August the 5th for $334,000, according to the Hampden County Board of Registrars, to a Kenneth Eggleston and some entity that he created. As I understand it from reading planning board meetings, at this stage he plans on just fixing it up a little bit, tweaking it, maybe operating a marina and a restaurant, rather than the previous applicant was talking about tearing the building down and building a completely new building. 127 Congamon, just down the street from him, which was a very small, like little house type, little restaurant,
Franklin House, yeah.
Franklin House. There's going to be a public hearing before the Board of Selectmen, since they're also the Liquor Commission, about transferring the liquor license. And the name of the applicant is Sanders, who I'm guessing, but I don't know, maybe the Sanders from that operates the boat launch and the package store.
Saunders.
Yes,
Saunders.
yes, I think
Yep.
he's the one that bought the building.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Saunders, yeah.
And Red Riding Hood's Basket,
I
according
saw
to
that.
Facebook,
Yeah.
is currently for sale.
Yep, I saw that.
And the U.S. Census Bureau last Thursday released their figures for each community in town as to what the April 1st, 2020.
Interrupt maybe sitting on the meeting?
Sure.
Oh,
Do you know what
thank
it
you.
is?
Yeah, the Economic Development Commission.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's fine. We're
Yes,
recording, so if, yeah,
Oh,
that's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah. Can we-
According to the Census Bureau, our new population for Southwick is 9,232, which is a drop of 270
Yeah.
residents. How they came up with that, I don't know. But that's what the Census Bureau has. And if you go on census.gov, you can get more information on Southwick as well as anywhere else in the country. I don't think that'll have any major impact on Southwick, but I'm kind of surprised with the new houses being
know.
built in the last 10 years, that we would have a drop in population. But again, maybe they missed some of these developments. You know, some of the condos on Depot
Or,
Street
I
or
mean,
some
you know,
of the.
kids are graduating. I know that
Right.
I know I was on the school committee meeting and they were talking about how we had a less, we were able to have they added a kindergarten teacher, which allowed them to allow more kids from the school choice program to come in because they like to keep the
Mm-hmm. That's
numbers
revenue,
at
5 or
15.
$10,000
Right, but they like to
per
keep it
student.
about 15 per class.
Okay.
And I think they said another first grade. But, you know, I know with my son being a senior, I know there's certain things, and I don't know if it has to do with COVID or what, but, you know, we were having trouble getting coaches, but we're actually having trouble getting kids to play some, you know, some of the sports.
Really?
We only have 25 kids signed up for soccer.
You see, the town had 16 or 1,700 kids in the school system 5 or 10 years
Right.
ago. Now we're under 1,400.
Right. So, I know people were concerned with like some of those condos. That was one of the things they were concerned with was, you know, schools getting, you know, having an issue, but, I don't see.
That was some of the issues.
Right, but I
You're
don't
right,
foresee that being an issue because if we're less than what we were back then,
Right.
you know, I think, you know, when we moved to town, we were right in that peak of everybody kind
Right.
of coming in 20 years ago or so, and it seems to have dissipated even with these developments that have gone in.
And it's gotten to the point now, like with these new condos they're proposing to build on Depot Street, they're talking about a lot of the units would only be 2 or 3 bedroom
Right,
units.
exactly.
So you're not gonna have 2 or 3 kids if you're in a 2-bedroom condo.
Right, probably not, right. So it'd be more revenue for, you know, real estate tax as well as, you know, car excise tax and so on and so forth, so. Yeah, but I did see that about Red Riding Hood. Where else? Oh, and then we have Blooms is new.
Oh,
Did we get them in
Blooms?
on this?
I didn't, because I don't
Is
have
that
an
a hair
address
salon?
for them.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. We're doing a job fair. We're holding a job
That's right,
fair.
it's where the cell phone place
Was,
used to
yes.
be.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
That's right, I noticed that last week.
So I don't know if we had them in on our mailing.
No, because I didn't have them on the mailing
So
list.
when we did that mailer for, and am I jumping ahead?
No,
by
go-
any
go-
chance?
go ahead.
So when we did that mailer, you had given me the addresses, the ones that were in bold, we did not have address, or they
Right,
didn't have
they
physical?
they don't have a mailing address.
So how, do you recall about how many that was?
10 or 15.
Okay, so why don't I this week, because I was supposed to go to the Cape, but now they're doing soccer practice every single day for 2 hours. Just 2 hours in the middle of the day.
See, a lot
So
of
I'm
the
not
places-
going to the Cape now.
A lot
too
of places on College Highway don't get mail
Can I,
delivery.
I'm
to
gonna,
their
I
business.
gave you all of them back.
Right,
I'm gonna
you take as many
I'm
as you
gonna
want,
take a
that's why I
chunk
brought
and
them.
I'm gonna go drop them off to those
Sure.
old ones. That way people know.
Right.
I happened to be in Tractor Supply last night and they're doing a big revamping. They're changing from Tractor Supply to Tractor Supply, like, I don't remember what they called it.
new name?
It's gonna have an added name. It's almost like, think of Walmart and
Mm-hmm.
then Super Walmart. So they're gonna add on, so they're adding in a greenhouse, they're adding on like a dog washing station and a pet.
They went before the
Wait,
planning
and a-
board 3 or 4 months
yeah,
ago on
and
this.
a pet and a
get
pet
approved.
food bar, whatever that is. I don't know. It sounded quite interesting. All I could think of is like, you know, when you go to like Trader Joe's or wherever, and they have like the granola and the
Yeah, yeah.
canisters, and you can kind of mix your own. I
You
don't
want
know.
6 ounces or
So
3 pounds?
I did have to go get dog biscuits for my little old dog who can only eat one kind of biscuit. But so I happen to touch base with the managers, and I figured because they're corporate there, you know, sometimes with the corporations we talk about that you know, they're not going to do that. They might not participate in this because it goes through corporate. And
But
I'm like,
Tractor Supply seems to be the kind of place,
They
because they
do.
bring in a vet
They
to
do.
give shots.
They do. And I
do
think
other
they're going to
things.
do more of that also. They're going to
Good.
offer more stuff.
Right.
But so, anyway, so they seemed pretty receptive
Uh-huh.
because they have their own flyers at the
Mm-hmm.
register to like log on to Tractor Supply. But this one particular, you know, for something like
Uh-huh.
this. So, who knows? So I'm thinking. But I haven't gotten any. When did these go out?
I believe they went out Monday.
Really? Okay.
I got one
I
email
haven't
this
got-
afternoon from Tynick Landscaping.
Oh, nice, good. I see their help wanted sign
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
I haven't gotten any emails as of yet, but my Wi-Fi was down. I needed a new modem, and it took them 5 days to come out to service. So,
That's why I go to Costco.
yeah, so I know, but yeah. So I'm expecting, and
Right.
I think we said once you have 10, you'll let me know, and once I
Right.
have 10, I'll let you know,
Right.
or something like that, and then we can kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
Where else do we think besides the school in Westfield State? And beside, like, so you're gonna, do you want to do the local, like, in town?
Some of them, like, I'll do the post office,
office,
the
Okay.
summer house.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder if Malicious, if he'd put one up there too, he probably could, well, is he seasonal?
Yeah, he
Yes.
usually operates till like late October, early November,
Okay,
and then
okay.
reopens
A lot
like
of
in
the kids will
April.
still be going back to school. We might still need, a couple warm bodies in there if the kids, kids
Right.
going back to college.
Well, just watching the local TV stations, Channel 22 tonight, a restaurant group just had a job fair
Yeah.
today.
The student prince people.
All week, Monday through Friday, the state is having a virtual
Yeah,
job
Mass.gov,
fair.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
saw
I
Because they
saw
said
that
there's
too. Yeah,
200,000
mass hire
open,
thing. Yeah.
right,
And
200,000
everybody I
open
know
jobs
that
across
has a
the state.
place, has a spot at the Big E, they're struggling
I'm
to
sure.
find people work.
Oh, in fact,
So my neighbors-
Malicious had a sign, their digital sign said, "We need Big E help."
Yeah. So my neighbor across the street, they used to own the Hofbräu House
Mm-hmm.
in West Springfield, and so they've kind of somehow reined in my family. I don't know what
Oh,
we'll
really?
be doing. Yeah, yeah.
What, do they have a booth at the Big
They
E?
have a couple. They have a couple.
What's your last name?
The Stevensons.
Okay.
But yeah, they have a couple. So, yeah, so they've asked us to help because they're struggling to find people to work their booths. So
Well, that's nice of you.
you get a free
Is
pass.
Chris gonna
I
work
think.
too?
My husband's like, he's so excited. He's like, oh, I'm gonna work the beat. I'm
He'd
like,
be good, yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
he's-
that's fine. You
yeah.
know what? He needs something to do anyway, a little bit more, so that's fine. No, he's excited to do it, so we'll see. But I know that they're all looking for help. So I think everybody is, and I think once September 4th, is that when?
Right.
Once that hits, I think people are, but I don't know if people are looking, like even that mass.gov, when is that job fair? Is that already passed?
It's virtual, it's all week.
Oh, is
Because they
it?
said there's
Okay.
200,000 vacant jobs across the state.
It's too bad. Too bad. Well, hopefully we can get some people in. And, I think if in like another week or two or something, prior to our next meeting, if we don't get too many responses, we can just start popping into places. And
Right.
just saying, hey, did you happen to get this?
We're gonna have it irregardless of the turnout, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
even if we only have 5,
Yeah.
we're still gonna do it for
The tables are free.
Right.
Just,
Yeah, and obviously the people that want to do it need the hires, so they need
Right.
the employees. So we're gonna do whatever we can to, help them out even still.
anything else happening among businesses in town?
No, that's all I know right now for the ones that that blooms, and then with the Red Riding Hood basket going.
It's good that a beauty salon moved in where the cell phone place was, because that space was empty for at least a year or a year.
Well,
and a
then
half.
there was somebody would pop.
Really?
Well, no, because then
think
they
it was that
popped
one.
in and they were like temporary, and then they'd go out, and it was odd. So there was a couple of them, but I don't know. Are we still thinking? Now I'm just curious. I have a question. When you said that they're looking for somebody for the medical, like how are they broaching that? Like how does that occur? I mean, wouldn't
I
that be something
understand that one of the selectmen contacted a large medical group in the Springfield area, and I don't know exactly what he said, but,
So
and to me, that sounded like a long shot.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, wouldn't that be something like it'd be nice for economic, like, hi,
But the
this
thing
economic
is,
development.
the building is 6,000 some odd square feet for rent. It's a private party that owns it. They've got a real estate agency in the Springfield area
Oh,
marketing it. If we're gonna help one, then all of a sudden somebody wants to build some houses. Are we gonna be out hustling, buy these houses or buy these kind of, I think that's beyond our responsibility.
I hustle.
No, No, but you're in the real estate business. You're a
Yeah,
real estate
I know,
agent,
I
and
know.
I understand.
But I'm just saying, if that's, okay, that makes sense then if they're looking for somebody to purchase versus, a
At this
business moving
moment,
in, yeah.
they're looking for someone
Someone
to
to
rent.
purchase the building or
Okay.
rent it, okay.
So
Right.
I'm going to tell you something that is like really off key, but I was listening to Bloomberg a couple weeks ago, and they were interviewing the CEO from a company called Gotham Greens. And so it sounded really interesting. And Gotham Greens was actually a fully sustainable greenhouse that, agricultural, and they typically are more in the city. But what they do is they have these greenhouses, and they do, like, let's say one head of lettuce on a farm would take 45 gallons of water for the farmer. They'll use like only 5. They can actually structure it so where it would be like, I don't know, 5 or 10 acres of land would only
They
be
can
like
do it
a
in an
half.
acre.
It'd be condensed. They
Yeah.
could do it in an acre or something like
They're
that.
doing that in Springfield in some of the former factory buildings,
So that's
that are 3 or 4 or 5
right,
stories high.
right. So I just on the back burner, just thinking something like that. I don't know, and and that would make sense if they're doing it in a factory.
It's just we don't have the old mills, we're not
Right,
Ludlow,
we don't
we're
have
not
that, right.
Northampton, or
Right.
some of these other
So
towns.
we don't have that, but I'm just thinking, I know there was that big issue down the road. And they do have barns there, and there is some structures there, and there is some stuff there. So I didn't, that was just something I didn't know.
I think
if-
that'd be something the Ag
I
Commission
think that's that.
would
So
handle.
when
Yeah, I
I
do
spoke
too.
with one of the commissioner, one of the selectmen, they mentioned that I should mention it to the commissioners, the agricultural commission. So that might be, they're called Gotham Greens. It might be something to look into. They looked pretty reputable when I looked them up. They deliver all over to all different grocery stores, all the way up to Canada. And again, I think they base themselves off of like more solar and utilizing and being fully sustainable. So
Well, it's the same thing as if you drive to Buffalo, you can't do, well, you can now, the border finally opened. Normally, if you drive into Canada and you go up the Queen Elizabeth Highway heading toward Toronto, there's giant greenhouses, and that's where lettuce comes from that they sell at Costco in January
Yeah.
and February.
Yeah.
It's either
Oh, really?
come from Ontario or from Mexico.
right.
Wow.
Ontario's a lot closer in terms of
Yeah.
using energy or anything.
I'm just thinking,
getting
even if
it
they're
here.
utilizing a building or something like that with our tax rate, it's still pretty low for a company like that to
Well, they
come
were
in.
talking about building on the lower end of College Highway near the state line, some kind of a marijuana growing place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anything's developed on that or not.
I know some people that I believe are involved in that, and they're just working through that.
'Cause I
think
know
It's been
they
a
got
while,
the-
because I think they came
I-
into me for
Yeah.
insurance or something.
Because
Yeah.
they got their approvals from the
Yeah.
selectmen and they were working with the
Yeah, I
planning
think,
board and that kind of
it's just,
stuff.
it's all about funding and having the right funds. It's not a cheap business to get into.
And federally, it doesn't exist.
So, yeah, so there's no grant money or anything. But it is what it is.
Right,
So-
yeah,
So, but I think, I don't think that that's gonna be anything right away. But I think that the people that were talking about it are still keeping that.
and now there's more talk, I heard it in the last week or two, on the Tilcon land on Hudson Drive. Where they've been taking out sand and gravel
Yep,
for
yep,
years.
yep.
Now somebody's thinking of maybe buying or leasing some of that land for another solar farm.
It's a good idea.
I mean, right now, we've got 3 commercial solar farms, plus Big Y has their own private
I
solar
think
farm.
that's a good idea, especially, where it is located.
But it just in dealing with agriculture, some people in the farming community say, well, that's a terrible use of farmland. But you're not destroying, you're not building something on it. 25
Right,
years from now, you can take the solar panels out and you
Right.
still have the farmland.
Right, and
But
everything
that's-
that was utilized or needed to be, taken out of there has been, taken out to its full capacity at this
Right.
point. So.
I mean, when Eversource bought the land on Feeding Hills Road, they paid 2.1 million for the land, which is now being taxed by the town at the value of 2.1 million. How much the town is getting for the solar, I have no idea.
Yep.
That's handled.
Yep.
Apparently the state calculates that or something. I have no idea what the revenue is from that. But it would be better than an empty sand pit or gravel pit.
Yeah, I agree. I still love that they put that business in with those tractor. I don't know, that kills me. with
Where's
the-
that?
The on Hudson Drive. They have
Oh,
a,
there's
big-
a union bought the piece of land and they train
down
people on using,
Oh, the equipment.
bulldozers
Oh, yes.
and-
Oh, yeah. So that's
stuff.
good.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
I think weren't they going to add a school into it or something like that?
Well,
for
that is
training?
their training.
Good.
Oh, that's
Apparently
awesome.
they have it in the building and,
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, if you're, let's say you're in your 20s and you're looking for a construction career, well, somebody's gotta teach you how to use a bulldozer or a crane or all
Right.
the other
Yeah.
equipment.
No, I think that's really neat.
Because I remember 6 or 7 years ago when they first came to the planning board with that issue, the planning board saying like, you're gonna have a what?
Yeah,
You're gonna do a who?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let you do it.
Yeah. What are we, okay, have you reached out to, Westfield at all? What's their stance on anything, with home and business? Have they?
I
Nothing
haven't
at all.
because
Chamber, you mean?
Yeah, the chamber, let's,
the chambers, you know, just getting
I
their
know.
act together. They haven't
The
really.
new director.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just had their golf tournament
Mm-hmm.
and now they're gonna start having their fall breakfast, I think at Barnes, the National
Will you-
Guard, sometime in September.
will you, when they send you those, will you forward those emails to us as well?
Sure.
So that we can know when those are going on?
Sure.
Because I'm not always checking on the Westfield Chamber either. And what else do we have going on? We're doing shop small business all the time. So are we setting anything aside at all during the holiday season?
Well, the American Express is having their small business Saturday on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which is November 27th. Again, I typically get the 10 or 20 bags or whatever the American Express gives
Yeah.
out free, and I pass them out. Like this past year, I gave a few because I only had like 25 to start,
Yeah.
so I gave
Yeah.
3 or 4 to this Russell Fish and whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
on
the
College
pets.
Highway.
Yeah,
The
the
pets.
Pets place
yeah.
because they have pet food and
Yeah.
different types of fish and whatever, and then give a few. I used to bring them down to Red Robin, but now
Riding Hood, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be nice to give them, if we do get them, to some of the newer businesses this time around.
oh yeah, every year I give
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to different
yeah,
businesses
yeah.
with the small number that I have. I give them to that new sandwich place.
Kettle Bread.
Kettle
My
Bread.
son
Right.
My son's at work there right now.
Oh, he works there?
Yeah,
Nice.
he's a dishwasher. Yeah,
That's excellent.
school's starting.
But they seem to be all enthusiastic, and they opened after the pandemic started.
Have you eaten there yet?
No,
It's phenomenal.
It is.
So their bread is literally made in kettles. They make them in
It's
kettles.
expensive.
But it's worth
But
it.
it is
It's
good.
so good.
It is good.
It's
but most
so
of the
good.
restaurants in town, and as well as other places, have their prices have gone up in the last
course.
year and a half.
I
course.
took 3 kids
Add
to
2
the
or 3
summer
bucks
house.
to each.
Three
cheap.
kids
Dinner
to the
with
I took
sandwich.
3 kids to the summer
much?
house. 2 bacon cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, a Coke, a water, a chicken tenders, a small fry, and a small vanilla milkshake. $45.
I know.
But you could go somewhere else and get a hamburger
We
and
had-
fries, and now it's
Right.
15 where it used to be
We
9.
had an office
Right.
lunch. I treated the staff last Friday at the Rail Ale Trail,
Yeah,
whatever.
they're good too.
And it was like $60.
Yeah.
For 4 of us.
Yeah,
We didn't even eat that much.
yeah. Their
But-
pizza's really good.
That's what I
They do a
heard.
good
We didn't
job.
have pizza.
We should have had pizza. But cheaper.
Next time.
So, is there anything else that we need to do for this job fair?
No, I think we're good, and I think we should, because the way we planned it out, we're gonna have it after our next meeting.
Right,
So we get to have another meeting
Right.
prior to having the job fair.
right,
So we can do any last minute tweaks.
sure. If you wanna take any more of these,
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Yeah,
a few.
if you wanna take a few,
Yeah.
and if, and then maybe we have a better idea and like on the forums and stuff, you know, Tynek will be here and this one will be here, you know, and I can just throw that out.
cause it's just
on-
usually when you talk to the press, for example, so who's coming?
So
And
did
you're
they-
trying to do the press,
I know.
and
So
you
did
don't
they
have the
ever-
names
did
of the
they ever-
businesses
Did they
yet.
ever put anything in there?
I did see that, he wrote an article after
He
the last
did
meeting.
write an article,
I
and
did see
they,
it.
they have a new editor who used to be the editor of
Oh.
the Southwick Agawam News, which came
oh.
out weekly. And Mike, when he was the editor there, he would come to selectmen's meetings and all. He just started in this new job last week. He'd come to selectmen's meetings, and you could get him to put articles in there. You're not paying for advertising.
Right,
Right.
right,
You could get articles.
nice.
The Cultural Council, the
Do
Library,
you remember what?
Economic
You
Development.
know what? I probably wrote it down at the last meeting. Peter Courier. No.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
He,
Okay.
he's the reporter.
Okay.
And
I might reach back out to him.
We won the reader raves for A Place to Live.
That
Best
was
Place to
for
Live.
2020.
Oh,
They just
I didn't
had
know
the,
that.
they just had the voting for
Oh, they
2021.
did. I didn't see the voting for 2021.
Yeah, I don't know who the
Southwick
winners
again.
are. No, it won't be Southwick.
No.
Some other town, they'll tell a group of people, put in 500 votes, keep
Yeah.
voting over and over again.
I don't think they did that for Southwick though. I don't
No,
know.
we,
I think it was
Southwick
just a-
doesn't do that.
Yeah. So.
And the September 1st issue of Business West should have an article on Southwick. I don't know if they've met with Carl or not. I know that it was scheduled, when you look at their editorial calendar for the year, Southwick's gonna be September 1st. They always come to the selectmen and Carl, and last year, Southwick was scheduled and then it disappeared. They put
Oh.
a different town in, because apparently we were too busy to talk to a reporter. When I say we, not me, but the front office. It just,
Interesting.
it's free publicity, and you promote whatever it is that you want to promote about
Yeah.
your town.
Absolutely.
They just had, the current one that just came out today is on, I think it's Wilbraham. And there's been nice ones on Holyoke and Chicopee and Westfield and Agawam, different times during the year. And it's a good PR
Yeah,
piece
yeah.
for your community.
it always was a good publication.
Yeah.
I don't get it anymore, but is it free?
No,
No.
it's $45 a year, or 3 years for $79. I just sent my check in for 3 years. So anything else we have to cover, or?
I don't think so. No, and I mean, we're
I
all
don't
gonna
think
be
so.
here, you've got that down, like, we're all gonna be here. Now, are we setting up, like, who's setting up the tables?
Oh,
Do
the-
we
the
have to-
custodians
They will,
do.
they'll do it,
Yeah,
they'll
I
take
just
care of it all?
give them a diagram. And
Perfect.
it's similar to when used to have the home show here.
Yeah.
So
Can
the
we-
janitors just handle that
Can we
stuff.
do a little, table and do like a welcome thing?
Oh, sure.
Okay, perfect. Now, are we
We've,
thinking?
we've got that narrow banner that I can set up next
Yeah,
to the table.
let's definitely do that.
Yeah, and I can have the restaurant list
Good.
and a couple of other things.
Are you hiring?
No. Why?
I was just wondering if you're gonna have
There was a nice
table.
article about one of your competitors in the paper this past week, that he's been in business 35 years. There's a
T&E
recording,
has.
so we
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
mention
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. What paper? I read the paper. Springfield?
It may have been the original Penny Saver or the
Oh.
Westfield News. I read them all.
Yep.
I support local press, so I
There
buy
you
a
go.
subscription to everybody.
No, I think we're good.
Maybe
I think-
Craig's business will be there.
Yeah, I
he
think he said that. He's gonna try and, but you know, again, the issue is if you're limited staff,
Yep.
to have to
I know,
let one
true.
of your staff
True.
come and sit here for a couple of hours rather than being at work and
He
you're
could
already
send
limited
his
staff.
his
That's what
daughter-in-law,
he
because
was
she's a
saying.
good PR person.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He would try and see if he could do that. You know, but that's, you know,
She could
again,
sell ice to Saudi
What's her name?
Arabia.
Is it Heidi?
Yes.
Heidi.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I think we're good. I mean,
Okay.
I think this is gonna be an easy, hopefully successful, but hopefully easy peasy in
Well, it-
comparison
it's
to
just
some of the
something-
other,
To
And
help the
then-
local community.
yeah.
We're not processing checks
No,
and giving them
no,
to the town
no,
clerk.
it's
We're not
free
doing any of
and-
that
Is it
stuff.
gonna be on the, that board there outside Berkshire Bank?
I'll
town, whatever
send
that
it
is.
in, hopefully the town will hire someone to do that job since the other person
Wow.
Do we
left.
still have a cable channel?
Yes,
Okay.
Channel 15.
Okay. I don't get cable.
That's the
so-
Westfield, is also Southwick?
Each town has their own
Oh,
Channel
okay.
15.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Or you go on the town website, go on to Channel 15 and you can actually see what's on Channel 15.
But
Oh,
you have
you
to be
can?
living in town to get that, because
No,
I'm
if
in
you do it on the
Westfield.
web, you could be
all
from
right.
Anchorage.
Oh, and so I could just watch it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, good to know.
Now that you're new in town,
Well, I don't have cable, and I haven't had
Oh.
cable in years. Like I have not had cable in years.
Oh, wow.
So, I have the little box, the
Little Raku or
the
something.
no, I have like Hulu and all those things, but
Netflix,
I have Netflix, but I have it's like an antenna you just plug in.
Oh, all right.
So I get like. I
You
just
get the
bought a
major
new one because
stations?
the other one wasn't working, and it now gets.
Is it have
I
an
get-
antenna on your house? No.
Nope, it's just it's flat, and you can
It's
put it
the
on your
little
wall,
flat HD
or you just put
antenna.
it like I just put
You
it
like
on my
it, huh?
chest. Yeah, I have 19 channels.
You can buy the $20 model in
And I-
Walmart or the
Wow.
$50 model.
I just wanted I just wanted to be able to get like 22 and 40, so
Right.
I can watch the
Right.
news at night or something like that, or catch the Today Show
and it
while
comes
I'm
in
getting ready.
it comes
you
in
know.
HD, which is clearer
Yeah,
than what you would
yep,
get from Comcast.
Yep. So
Wow.
yeah, so I have that. I just bought it for like a new one for like $24, and this one doesn't
Wow.
even have to plug into the wall. It literally just plugged into the TV, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Wow.
There's
So-
4 or 5 models in Walmart, or you can find it at
The
BJ's
original one I
and other
bought
stores.
was at it was Rite Aid when it was still Rite Aid,
Oh
and it
my
was like
goodness.
$20 or $15. Yeah, years ago. So, yep, I have it on a couple of my TVs.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay, thank